The reality of running a tattoo studio. These are the lessons that I learned the hard way. I thought being a passionate artist was all it took to run a successful tattoo studio. Man, was I wrong. The reality of managing a studio with 5 other artists was a constant uphill battle. I was dealing with client no-shows for the whole team, a schedule that was pure chaos, and the nagging fear that our business was about to go under. I had poured my soul into creating this incredible team, but our shared appointment book had more mistakes than Google Translate in 2008. I was so busy managing everyone else's time that I had no time for my own art. I was so close to giving up until I learned a few hard lessons that completely changed the game. So in this video, I'm going to share the raw truth about what it really takes and the one tool that literally saved my business from the brink. Lesson 1. Every artist dreams of it, right? Your own space, your name on the door. My dream was even bigger. A hustling studio, a collective of amazing artists, the creative sanctuary where we were the bosses surrounded by our art, and of course, a full line of clients who loved our work. I had that picture burn into my brain. I imagined this cool, chill space and a calendar just packed with awesome projects for the whole team. I truly believed that if our portfolios were killer and our work was so clean, success was inevitable. The reality, it was a nightmare disguised as my dream come true. Don't get me wrong, there was no short of clients. But just because of that, it all got really hard to handle. The buzz of 5 tattoo machines was usually drowned out by the phone ringing of the hook. That creative sanctuary felt more like a frantic call center for me. My days were not spent sketching my own amazing new pieces. They were spent managing 5 different artist schedules, searching where I left the customer's example they brought, and figuring out who paid the deposit and who didn't. Look, I was a good artist, but I learned real fast that's not nearly enough to run a studio for a whole team. I became the lead receptionist, maybe a disorganized bookkeeper, and a super stressed out manager, all rolled into one. The passion that made me want to open the studio was being choked out by the administrative nonsense. I had zero time to myself. Lucky, in those days, we were still pre-corona, and we got away with everything pretty well. I was also quite young, so me time was not something I really needed back then. These days, that's all quite a lot harder. So here's the hard-learned lesson that almost broke me. Getting from disorganized to actually being stable was a path paved with brutal lessons. This is the stuff they don't teach you in art school. You learn it when your rent, your artist's livelihood, and your dream are on the line. The first lesson was about respect. I will never forget a Friday that should have been our most profitable day of the month. We had 5 big custom pieces, booked simultaneously, with 5 different artists. We're talking a full day of income, enough to cover a huge chunk of our rent. The first client, a 6-hour session, just didn't show. No mail, no call, no nothing. The next 2 bailed out about 10 to 15 minutes before their appointment. And I don't even remember the excuses of the last 2. An entire day's income for 5 of my artists wiped out. I just sat there in my empty studio looking at my artists who really wanted to work that day. This kind of disrespect was crushing to some people. We had turned away other clients for these spots. My time, their art, our livelihood, it all felt worthless. That was the day I learned that if you don't have a system that demands accountability, your time has no value. The next hard lesson, a paper diary is a one-way ticket to disaster, especially with multiple artists. It's a busy Saturday, the studio's busy, and 2 different clients show up at 1 p.m. for an appointment with the same artist. They both have their appointments written on an appointment card by me. I look down at my chicken scratch in the diary, and my stomach kind of drops. I really booked them both. No excuses, nobody else. The embarrassment was quite excruciating. One client was rather cool about it, but the other one was pretty agitated, and I don't really blame him. My screw-up didn't just cost us a client, it damaged our reputation. You may have the best artists in the city, but if your shop feels disorganized, people won't trust you. Then came the paper trail. In this business, paperwork isn't a suggestion. It's a legal requirement. You need secure, detailed records and signed consent forms for every single client. These days, we even need ink passports. I had a filing cabinet stuffed with them for the whole studio. One day, I got notice of a health inspection. Wanting to be prepared very well, I scrambled through files and I realized one consent form for a big piece one of our artists did is gone. I really tore the studio apart. It was pure panic. Did I lose it? Did the client ever sign it? I still don't know, but luckily the inspector never noticed. They are not that thorough around here. But it sure was a wake-up call to me. Finally, there was this communication breakdown. My consultation booking process for the whole team was, let's say, artistic. A chaotic combo of Instagram DMs, emails, and random notes. I had this one client booked with an artist, and I was sure they wanted a black and gray floral piece. I'd handled the consults, they come in, and my artist pulls out the design they worked all night on. And then the client's face just dropped. In a negative way, I mean. They showed me an Instagram message from weeks ago where they'd mentioned wanting just a hint of color. I completely missed it. We salvaged the appointment, but it taught me that managing client expectations is everything. And you cannot do that with their info scattered across 5 different apps. Dealing with all of this was exhausting. If any of that sounds familiar, whether you're running a studio or you're dreaming about one, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And drop me a comment below with the biggest headache you had to deal with. We're all in this together, and just talking about the struggles is the first step to getting past them. That being said, I'm selling software, not therapy. So I was working harder than ever, making less money, and worst of all, I was starting to almost hate the business I was dreaming of building. My love for art was being completely crushed by the burden as an admin. I wasn't even tattooing anymore. Being a great artist wasn't enough. You have to be a business owner. And smart business owners don't do everything themselves. They build systems. They find tools to handle the things draining their time and energy. My problem wasn't the lack of passion or skill on my team. It was my lack of systems. I was trying to run a 21st century studio with methods from the Stone Age. I had to stop being just an artist who owned the studio and start being an entrepreneur. I went home that night and started creating a real system for managing a multi-artist studio. By the way, going home for me is just a figure of speech. I live behind my studio. I spent the next 2 years creating a tattoo studio software. It's called Tattoogenda. This isn't just another booking app. It's the command center for your studio, and it fixed every single one of my problems. Remember the no-shows? Tattoogenda helped solve that by automating deposits for every artist. No more chasing people for money. To lock in a booking, clients pay a deposit online. It also sends out automated appointment reminders. That one change cut our no-show rate dramatically because it adds a layer of professionalism and commitment. For the chaotic scheduling, the software was a game changer. It gives you a clean, central calendar that manages every artist's real-time availability. No more double bookings. It can handle multiple artists, walk-ins, and all sorts of tattoo studio appointments all in one place, turning chaos into easy. And the paper trail to nowhere? Gone. Tattoogenda has digital consent forms. Clients fill them out on their own smartphone when they arrive. The forms are then automatically and securely saved to their digital file, linked to the appointment and the artist. No more lost paper and no more panic about the health inspector. Finally, it fixed the communication breakdown. The software manages all our client relationships in one place. Every note from a consultation, every design preference, health issues, how much they spent with us in the past, it all gets stored in the client's profile, accessible for their next appointment, no matter which artist they see. It even automates sending digital aftercare instructions. By automating all that boring stuff, it did more than just organize the business. It gave me back my time. It freed me from the admin work that was killing my creativity. I could finally stop being a stressed out receptionist and get back to being what I always wanted to be, an artist working alongside my team. By the way, again, if you want to know if Tattoogenda would be a good fit for your studio, book a demo with me through the link in the description. Conclusion? I thought my passion for ink was enough, but running a studio taught me that passion without a system just leads to burnout. The no-shows, the scheduling nightmares, the paperwork, it all almost broke me and my team. But going through that forced me to find a smarter way to work. Success in this industry isn't just about how well you tattoo. It's about how well you run your business too. It's about respecting your team's time and giving your client a professional experience. For me, using a tool like Tattoogenda was what connected my passion for art with the reality of being an entrepreneur. It let me build the thriving creative studio I always wanted instead of the chaotic mess it almost became. If you're in the trenches right now and feeling totally overwhelmed, remember you don't have to do it all by hand. The tools are out there. Build a system, protect your time, and get back to focusing on your art. That's the real secret. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more real talk about running your tattoo studio.